Hello, I'm Reverend L.K. Floyd, President of the Missionary Baptist Ministers Conference of Washington, D.C. and Vicinity. We just had the State of the Community forum and panel. We talked about various issues facing our community, such as politics, education, community issues, as well as dealing with the area and realm of social justice, voting, and voter education. We had an opportunity to talk to some of our panelists following our State of the Community, and here are some of the things they had to say.
It's important to be here because the community, until we come together and understand that we have a responsibility to not only state what the problems are, but to come together and deal with the problems. It was important for me to be here because from where I sit in the state legislature as a senator, I see what's going on in the undercurrents and how we are not doing what we should to actually build communities. And so I wanted to share that knowledge in the area of mass incarceration, health care, our seniors who are neglected, and politicians and developers who work together to gentrify our communities and do nothing for our people. Our failing school systems in both jurisdictions need to be addressed. I wanted to share and add my voice on and to say that only together can we make that difference.
Well, number one, you have to have varying different opinions and views. I brought the gender perspective, I brought an intergenerational perspective, I brought a worldview. And I think that you have to have all at the table if we're going to go forward. Definitely being part of the community, number one, but being a leader of the community, that I carry the voices of many that don't have a voice themselves. And so I have a group called Pro Voice Movement for Women, and it is to amplify the voices of women. It's not always that we don't have a voice, we don't always have the opportunity to amplify those. So if I can be that voice at the table, then I will be that voice.
I think I add a unique perspective being the council member of Ward 8, Washingtonian, and also probably one of the youngest people in the room on the panel. I think that I'm in touch with a lot of things that's going on. Just add a voice. It's good to be around brothers and sisters of faith, man. That's what's missing a lot in these circles in the community. And so it's imperative for me to be a part of the conversation. Not always talking, but also listening about how we can come up with solutions. I believe that bad things happen when good people do nothing. So today was an opportunity to hear what are some of the solutions, and our next step is to put into action items, because faith without works is dead. We have a faith-based committee in Ward 8. We had a faith breakfast actually this Saturday. That was Reverend Isaac just walking past, checking in on the breakfast because he was out of town. But we are engaged in the faith-based community in Ward 8. We want to expand in the ward to get more churches involved into the mission of saving our people, because we're in a state of emergency. And it's an all-out attack on black churches throughout the district. So I always say, don't just stand there, do something. So we're empowering people to get together and do something about our issues facing our community.
Well, I'm connected with Washington in two ways. I'm full-time on the faculty at Washington's own Howard University School of Divinity. And so I do a lot of interaction with people here in Washington. And I also direct a national project called Healing Communities USA, which trains congregations to work with members who have family members that are in the criminal justice system. And we have a number of congregations here in Washington that are part of our national network. In fact, I was saying to one of those pastors, Pastor Nuttall, that I believe that we have one of the strongest networks of reentry focused congregations in the District of Columbia in the nation. And so I have a real interest in what happens here because of my teaching and because of my work in the criminal justice system. I also teach an ethics class at the DC jail. Howard University is the only historically black college that teaches classes in the Inside Out program, which consists of students from the university and inmates in the DC jail facility. So there's a lot going on down here, and the fact that I live in Philadelphia, I like to bring as much back to Philadelphia as possible because of some of the great things that are happening here in Washington. The key to understanding reducing recidivism is understanding that people, when they come through the prison system, need a change in attitude and they need strong relationships. That's what houses of worship do. We believe in conversion and discipleship. We believe in value system and in fellowship. And all of the research that's been done on people coming home from prison say that those that build strong relationships with positive people and positive ideas when they get home are the ones who are successful. They are twice as successful. In other words, let me say it another way. Recidivism rate is reduced by twice as much based on values and attitudes and relationships as it is by jobs and housing. And so, as churches, we can invest in people coming back from prison because we already do what the research says helps them stay home. We believe in values change and we believe in relationship. A church that's not doing values change and building relationships doesn't have a reentry problem, it has a church problem. One of the things we say to churches is that the strongest area of work for people coming home from prison is owning their own business, entrepreneurialism. There are a number of books out there and training manuals for men and women who are coming home from prison to start their own businesses. Many of them are being locked up for being entrepreneurs. They just need a new product. And so when we introduce the books like Thinking Outside the Blocks, 20 entrepreneurial ideas for people with felony convictions. In Philadelphia, we work with a group called Opportunity Inc. that teaches residential contracting to people who have felony convictions. There are a number of entrepreneurial opportunities that are available to people when they come home from jail or from prison, and that's where the emphasis needs to be. You're right, it's hard to get a job working for someone else, but you have the capacity, you've probably already demonstrated the capacity to be in business for yourself.
Well, I'm grateful for the opportunity to share and to dialogue anytime there are leaders in the space to discuss what's taking place in our communities. And we cannot be absent at this critical moment in time. We have to step to the forefront as followers of Christ, as disciples of Christ, and as pastors and leaders, because people are looking to us and expecting for us to address the realities of the day. So I had to be here, and I'm grateful for the invitation. Well, I believe that the church is the center of life in the community. And politicians represent, they are supposed to be public servants and servants of all of those in the community. So that necessarily means that there should be engagement, that there should be conversation. And when those who are leaders of the church have done an effective job of cultivating relationship with members of the community, then those who are elected officials and those who serve us in the government will be required to come and to share and to find out what it is that we know and what it is that we think, because then we will represent the interests of those that we serve, because they are part of our churches and part of our faith communities. We give our young people a chance. The way that we empower our young people to step up to the plate is by not dismissing them. It's by not belittling them. It's by understanding that many of our young people are doing tremendous things in leadership in the workplace and in schools already before even as they are seated in our pews. So it's a bit short-sighted to consider those who are young and those who are our youth to be incapable of managing budgets of hundreds of dollars when they are literally managing budgets of thousands and millions of dollars in the workplace. In fact, we are short-circuiting or short-sighting ourselves and holding ourselves back. So we need to give them an opportunity, give them a seat at the table, and not just a seat at the table, but a microphone to speak, so that they can help us and they can train us even as we pour into their lives.